You have questions, we have answers. This is Jane Muller.
And this is Ken Muller. Welcome to our show, all about real estate with Ken and Jane. And for today's topic, we're going to talk about public transportation. And everybody's probably wondering, what in the world does public transportation have to do with real estate, Jane? Well, I'll tell you, when people buy a home, we find that public accessibility to public transportation is key. So we have with us our guest speaker today, Brett Burke. Brett is the general manager of Coach USA Suburban. Brett, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
That's great. So tell us your background and your current role with Coach USA.
Sure. So I'm next month will be 13 years with Coach USA, Suburban specifically. I actually started as a customer of the company back as a student athlete at Monmouth University from 2005 to 2008. Mm-hmm. So upon graduation, I came and started working at Suburban. I've served various roles in my 13 years. Started in customer service. From there, moved into more operations. That's where I really started to understand the business. Mm-hmm. Had a role in safety. Became the operations manager, and I've been the general manager for the past six years now. So I'm in charge of the overall day-to-day functions of the business, and ultimately the financial and business performance of the location is my responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fantastic.
That's great. Right.
I mean, just Brad, we live in East Brunswick. Just as Ken mentioned, what real estate to do with the transportation. I think maybe quarter or a third of our resident is your customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
East Brunswick, we service, throughout Middlesex County, but, East Brunswick is definitely our largest, hub and area. About 65% of our, ridership to New York is East Brunswick. So
wow.
It's definitely a huge part of our business.
Okay. Why don't you share some data with us on the number of commuters that actually rely on your service?
Yeah. So, obviously, when you're looking at, ridership, you got to look at pre-pandemic and where we're at now. Mm-hmm. Before the pandemic, on an average, we would be taking in about 4,500 unique riders a day.
Wow.
So it's about 9,000 rides in and people going in and coming out. Fast forward to today, things are getting better, mm-hmm. But we're still at like 25-30% of what we were. We're taking in about 1,200 riders a day to New York. So it's been this whole pandemic's been a huge challenge for us. It's been a challenge for everyone, but we're slowly getting back to somewhat of what hopefully I think will be a new normal. I don't know that we'll get back to pre-pandemic levels anytime soon, but if we continue to move in the right direction, hopefully we'll be able to come to a new normal.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
And with that, I guess, obviously with the COVID pandemic and, that was unforeseen, so there had to be schedule modifications, layoffs, unfortunately, the bad things that are associated with the pandemic that crippled a lot of businesses. And unfortunately, public transportation, especially to New York City, was drastically down to like nothing for 2020. And like you said, in 2021, I guess it's starting to come back to some level, but it's not nowhere near back what it was probably in 2018 and 2019. So you're starting to see an upward trend, maybe of like let's say during the COVID, it was probably down to like maybe 5%, and now maybe you're seeing 20 to 30% of what it was.
Yeah. So when we back in April of 2020, the heart of when this pandemic started, things got so bad. No one was going to New York. We basically furloughed our entire operation.
Oh my God!
We did that for a few months,
mm-hmm.
And then we resumed service, very limited service to the Port Authority only out of the Tower Center in East Brunswick. Yeah. We did that in June, and we were taking in maybe 150 to 200 people. And then over the whole course of 2021, we've kind of just been adding a little bit of service here and there, mm-hmm. And we just implemented new schedules this past Monday, mm-hmm. Which was from feedback from the customers. Our marketing team at Coach USA sends out frequent customer surveys and mm-hmm. getting what they're looking for. And with the most recent changes we put in Monday, we now have midday trips, later evening trips, starting this weekend, there'll be weekend buses to New York. So hopefully the customers will start seeing the benefits of that. And then as far as our rush hour schedule, our most frequency is to the Port Authority. During the harder rush hour, you have a bus about every 10 minutes going to the port. We did reinstitute our crosstown service down 42nd down to First Avenue. So there's 4 buses, to and from, crosstown, and then we have Wall Street service as well. So we had 4 buses. There was one of those buses was getting very heavy, overcrowded, so we added a 5th bus in Monday's changes. So we have to. It's touch and feel, and we have to balance the fact of, all right, we need to provide transportation and a service to the public while still making sure that we have a company to get us
it's
through
a cost benefit
the complete end of the pandemic. So that's been a challenge, but I think we're managing it pretty well.
Are you implementing rush hour schedules for all the areas that you service in Central Jersey, or just particular towns? Like, for example, East Brunswick, I believe, has the rush hour schedule. But do the other towns and areas you service also have rush hour in the morning and evening?
Yeah. So like I said, East Brunswick is our biggest hub. The Tower Center there. We're not currently operating out of the transportation center. But we do. We're partners with the township, in this service. So, we're in constant communication with them about when we'll resume service from the transportation center. Yeah. But we do service. We have buses out of Princeton that come up Route 27. Our office is in New Brunswick. Is a park and ride as well. That passengers get the bus to New York. So yeah, we are servicing other areas besides East Brunswick. We also provide service out of South Brunswick, the 8A park and ride, as well as Monroe Township. That's a shared service that we have with Academy. So currently there's 6 buses operating to New York out of the Monroe and 8A area. That's 4 to the Port Authority and 2 to Wall Street. So it's, again, it's fractions of what it was, but we're trying to figure out what the balance is here between the demand currently and what we're putting out there.
Right. How many buses to carry and how many mechanics it's all challenging. It's all based on data. You don't want to have an oversupply of buses, and then it's going to be a financial burden, but you don't want to have an undersupply.
Absolutely. If you have any bus schedule information, please share with us, because we very involved with our community. We can definitely share that with our community so the people are aware what's the changes, what's the new schedule. So hopefully, that's going to help. For the riders.
Yeah, absolutely. Our schedules can be found on our website, which is www.coachusa.com.
Sure.
As well as on our app. We now have a commuter app. You just go to the
Why don't you share that with the list?
In Apple or Android, just Coach USA app, and you'll be able to download it. You can see all schedules on there. We now have online ticketing.
Oh, fantastic!
You can purchase, and there's a lot of easy processes in there that if you're someone that constantly just buys a 10-trip ticket, you don't have to always enter your information. You can just go in, you can save your credit card, and you just hit a button and you can re-up your tickets. So that's I guess part of the positives of the pandemic. Absolutely. Is we still continued forward with a lot of the technology aspects of our business that we needed to that we felt were essential for us to move forward. And we, during the time when we weren't moving as many people as we usually do, we did continue on and make good progress with our technology aspects of the business.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's all useful. Yeah, so many of our clients, Jane, at the open houses still ask about the bus, the location of the bus, the frequency. So I'm getting the sense just from the database of clients that we interact with that there's going to be a resurgence in the commuters coming. It started, as you said, but I think it's going to be more and more because people are telling us they expect to go back on a full-time or at least 2 to 3 day a week basis to go to New York. So that is coming back now. I think that the complete layoff is over, and there's a hybrid where they're still working at home, some, but also the need to commute. That's been
and used to be the almost full-time work from home. Now gradually they're going back to the office more often and more days. Yeah, I have a lot of clients.
And we're seeing that. Definitely. Pre-pandemic and even before the pandemic, we were seeing this a little bit. For years, and years ago when I was first starting in the business, you would see consistent ridership Monday through Thursday, and then we have a lesser schedule on Friday. You have about a 20% dip in ridership on Friday. Before this pandemic happened, we were seeing a little bit, but now more so. Ridership each day is so unpredictable. Friday is extremely light. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are your heaviest days. Mondays and Thursdays are a little lighter. But that's what makes it difficult to determine the amount of service you're putting out and so on and so forth. And that's why we're going to be communicating through surveys with our customers, because we need to hear from them what their needs are, when are they going in. But yeah, definitely since we were coming back from the pandemic, Tuesdays and Wednesdays definitely seem to be the heaviest commuter days so far.
Yep, you're right. Even back in a few years ago, I know a lot of our clients, right? They offer them to work longer hours on Monday to Thursday to make up Friday, or some company even allowed the employee to work home at Friday. So that was before pandemic. Now, during this hard time, the things changed. So hopefully, now the new year, so everything is going getting back to normal. As you said, may never be normal, but it'll be new normal.
A new normal is, I think, what we're going to have to come accustomed to, yes.
What about with the holidays? Are you seeing an increase in demand for the weekends? Because you figure New York City, now Broadway is reopened. There's people, it's a holiday season. The tree is lit in Manhattan. Are you seeing that? Are you accommodating?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of why we wanted to, implement these schedule changes when we did, this past Monday, December 6th, is because of the holidays and, from the customer feedback we've gotten, but also, knowing that hopefully, more so than last year, that more people will be going into the city to shop and for shows and dinners and such. So we definitely wanted to put this service out there, with later buses coming out of New York, buses on the weekends to accommodate those people. So hopefully we'll see good ridership numbers, starting with this weekend and the rest of December.
Fantastic. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to our show, all about real estate with Ken and Jane. Today we have with us Brett Burke, the general manager of Coach USA Suburban. Brett, thanks so much again for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us. So we covered, let's talk about what additional services you could offer to customers besides the commuter routes. If you have anything where often there might be a need for a customer might want to rent a bus for a team function or a group function to go to Atlantic City, go to New York City, or go wherever. Do you have any private services available?
Yes, we do. We do quite a good amount of charter work. Out of our location in New Brunswick. We work with several colleges in New Jersey. We provide transportation for all the athletic teams for Princeton University, Monmouth University, Drew, Fairleigh Dickinson. All those colleges, when they're traveling to their away games, we're taking them there. So we have also have contracts and agreements with several municipalities and school districts, in the area, taking kids on class trips and, camps in the summer. And then anyone can just call up and book a private charter. We do quite a bit of that as well. If someone has a group of people and they're looking to go to a sporting event, a concert, we can take them there. So.
How about overnight? Do you guys only do local, or if, say, a group of people want to go to Washington, for example, a couple of days there? So my daughter, a few years ago, she wanted to go to Washington and see, the different department and how the Capitol works. So you guys do that if it's a few days trip too?
Absolutely. We could do single days, multiple days, and wherever you want to go. I mean, We've done trips to Florida. We've done trips as far west as Chicago, Wisconsin. Wherever the customer wants to go, we can get them there.
Absolutely.
There's just obviously hours of service laws and regulations that we have to follow, and we do that, and that's all taken into consideration when the customer's given the price. But no matter how far or how short, we can take them. So
that's good. A question about how many is the minimum people I mean, I guess that's about
to charter a bus.
Charter bus.
To
the
charter,
size.
I mean, so the maximum amount of passengers is 56.
56. Okay.
Minimum, there is no minimum.
No
If
minimum.
one person wanted to
Yeah, it's just a matter
charter
of
a
it's
bus,
just the
they
cost.
could,
It's
yeah.
just that the cost is spread out over that one
Yeah,
person.
but-
and it's just.
But the more people you
yeah.
get, obviously, and you divvy that cost up, it's
more
much more
cost-effective.
economical.
I guess it was the wrong question. Question is, do you have a multiple size of bus or just one
No,
size?
so we don't currently operate, smaller minibuses.
Okay, just
We
one
do
size,
get that
yeah.
request a lot with people calling up for weddings.
Yeah.
Or some of the colleges that have smaller teams, a tennis team, and but I think especially with weddings, our pricing is pretty much competitive with some of those smaller
Okay.
vehicles as well to get a 56-passenger bus.
Yeah. What's roughly going to cost if just, I know it's hard to say, just give the audience a rough idea. Say if someone want to go, say if we wants to go to New York City from East Brunswick and go for dinner, probably in the afternoon, 3-4 o'clock we go and have a nice dinner, I don't know, in Carman's, for example, and see a show and come back to East
So
Brunswick.
let's say from like 4 to midnight or something.
Probably
How
midnight.
many-
Yeah.
So
You're
you're
looking 8
looking at
hours
an 8 to 10 hour day. The typical ballpark price we would tell someone would be $1,000,
Okay.
and then it could be a little less depending on something like a dinner. It probably wouldn't be that high, but then
Yeah.
depending on the itinerary. But that's the ballpark we would tell
Ballpark,
someone
yeah.
to plan off of, and then depending on the exact details of the trip. That would determine the exact price.
Okay, that's
Which
good.
isn't-
At least give a ballpark and people have some ideas roughly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something for the audience to think about. If you have a large enough group and you don't have to worry about drinking and driving, or the bus driver is there for you, and you have a nice, comfortable bus to get into at the end of the.
Especially people like me can't drive. And when I got my license, all my family laughing. Jane, are you sure you want to be a realtor? You can't even drive. Even in the industry, everybody laughing. When I got out, every time when I go outside East Brunswick, people said, "Oh, Jane, you need a visa." Yeah, our boss Carl actually Remax First Realty. One year we had a bus actually take the whole company went to Hoboken or somewhere or
We've got a few places. We went once to New York City and once to
Weehawken.
Once to Weehawken to a
Yeah.
restaurant for our team functions.
for the whole company. That was really good. I think that's really good for the team building as well. Just like and be responsible because everyone go in and you have a fun because you don't have to call taxi from New York City come back. You have a bus. That's really that's great to hear you guys offer that service. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now with the demand increasing, obviously are you looking for additional employees for the company?
Yes, we are. I mean, right now the biggest priority, and this is not just for our company, for the whole industry, is CDL drivers.
Okay.
We are actively hiring. We are currently fully staffed for the amount of service we're providing. But in preparation for adding additional service down the road, we are looking to hire drivers. So anybody out there with a CDL, we definitely would encourage them to come see us or contact us. They can go to careers.coachusa.com.
Okay.
And you can see all the listings. So it's not just drivers, but we will be looking for mechanics and dispatchers and office personnel down the road. Or they can just they can either walk in or they can call us. So it should be the number would be 732-249-1100.
Okay.
That's we do need drivers, and we are hiring currently. So
right. And CDL would mean then commercial driver's license.
Commercial driver's license with a passenger endorsement.
Okay.
Those are essential in that.
Yeah.
But we would upon hiring, we have a full safety training program which is paid. We have full benefits, dental, medical, vision.
Wow, that's very very good.
That's very generous.
Yeah. 401k with a company match. So there's a lot of benefits to it.
Wow, that's
fantastic. What are the salaries like for the CDLs? I know it does vary based on their experience, or what's your range?
No, well, I mean,
like?
our garage is a union garage, so our drivers are union. It's local 1589 with the smart union. So all of our rates and everything is negotiated throughout a collective bargaining agreement. But to put a number to a salary, on average, our driver's making about $50,000 a year, and we have several that make quite a bit more than that. Because there's tons of opportunities for overtime. And if someone is coming to work and they we have people that just are content on working their 40 hours each week and then they go home. But then they have people that, they're hustlers and they come in, they'll work several extra hours and make a lot more money. So
just like a real estate agent, back in my old days when I started business, I used to work about 15 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. So my sleeping 3-5 hours. I'm sure a driver now they need plenty of sleep. I get that.
Cut it back to 12 hours a day.
12 to 15.
No, that's a light schedule now. Only 12 hours a day.
Yeah, for me, 12 hours is
96
really,
hours. Yeah,
that's really a light for us. So normally 12 to 15. But once again, it doesn't matter which industry. It's really how much your life. It's not only the person want to work or not work. It really depends at that time your family situation. If you have a lot of family obligation, obviously your first thing is a family. But if you have extra time and make extra money and put away for the saving for the raining day, that's definitely is fantastic.
But also there are limitations on the number of hours that a driver can probably work or on a daily basis or weekly. How does that work?
So the federal DOT hours of service rules allow a driver to drive for 10 hours in a 24-hour period, or he could be on duty for 15 hours. So in order to reset that, they have to have 8 hours off.
Okay.
Now, Coach USA as a company exceeds that, and we make sure that a driver has 9 hours off between their shifts, just to account for drivers by the time they come in, by the time they get in their car, they get home. We give them an extra hour for that, and then they're truly getting 8 hours of rest.
Yes, absolutely.
So if somebody wanted to hire Coach USA, for example, to go to Florida, the limitation would be the driver could drive up to like 10 hours, and then they would need to stop, whatever that state
may have
might
two
be.
drivers.
Or you might have two drivers. You could have different, which is that's a very good thing for the safety. You don't want somebody driving 15 hours a day, like some of the people individuals might attempt to do. It can be dangerous, and it's
so we've done trips to Florida straight through, but we would basically you send out a relief driver the day before, right, in a car, usually around Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
That the main driver will pick the group up in New Jersey, take them down to North Carolina. That relief driver is fresh, ready to ready to take over.
Wow.
He hops in.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The driver gets his rest and comes back in the car, and the fresh driver takes you down to Florida.
So that's even better.
It can be done. We just have to. We work within the guidelines of what the federal rules are, but. Because safety is in our business. It's paramount.
It's anything. Safety is number one. Yeah, absolutely. And for a lot of our clients, their children, either in high school or in a college, they are looking for experience, job, career opportunities there. Do you guys offer anything for either the college or the high schooler coming get some experience like?
Well, we're actually in this, talking as a company at developing internship opportunities and management programs. Because that's basically what I did. It wasn't formal, but I came right out of college and I just learned the business from the ground up, and and worked my way to become the general manager. But we are looking to kind of formalize that. So I think in the near future we will have some more information out to the public regarding that.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really good. Is there anything new you want to share with the audience for the new year?
No, I mean, we're just, we're hoping that more people come back to the bus.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
We're, it's been challenging, not just for us, but for everybody.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And like I said before, it's, we provide a public service, but we're also running a business and trying to keep a business afloat. So that's been a big challenge. But things have definitely improved, and they're moving in the right direction. So that's encouraging to see. And we'll be continuing to reach out to our customer base through surveys and other aspects, and looking to add service as demand increases. And then in some instances, you just have, somewhat like, like our weekend service. Yeah, surveys said that's what people are looking for. Sometimes you just got to put the service out there and hope that people will come. And I think, I think that will happen, as we move forward.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Yes.
Does your website have that accessibility for customers to give feedback via surveys or by email?
Yeah, well, we have anyone who any suburban customer can. I email back and forth with several customers, so I can accept feedback via email. Brett.Burke, BRETT.Burke, BURKE @coachusa.com. Get back to anybody who does email me. But then we do send surveys out regularly, and we'll continue to do that. But there's nowhere on the website, I believe, to.
Sure. Okay. I mean, we'll put on our the show.
Yes, we'll put your contact info. All great information. We're out of time. And Brett, thank you so much again for sharing with us your insights on the bus transportation system. And we'll see everyone next week.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Thank you.